students, my name is Kiranas, Assistant Professor, Department of Management. Today I am going to explain 31st session. Exemptions regarding income from house property. A recap of previous session. In the previous session we understood the basis of charge under income from house property. Here learning objectives to know the cases where income from house property is exempt from tax. Learners will understand the exempt incomes under house property. Income from house property is exempt from tax. Section 10(1) income from any farmhouse forming part of agriculture income. That means, let me have a question or question to yourself. Suppose anyone has got farmhouse and that is going to form the part of agriculture income. In that case also, it cannot be considered as the income from house property and it is exempted because it is the part of agriculture income. And we understood in the first chapter itself, any income that is generated through agricultural activities, it is completely exempted. Okay, agriculture land situated across India or anywhere in India. Next, section 1019A, annual value of any palace in the occupation of an ex-ruler. Okay, so that means let us understand this way about the section 1019A. If there is a palace, okay, and it will be in the occupation of an ex-ruler. Okay, so that means, let me give this example. Everybody knows, I hope everybody knows Mysore Palace. And if that Mysore Palace, now it is under the control of government and some portion is has been used by the family belong to that king. Okay, in that case also, the income generated from the house property is not chargeable under the income tax. That means income from house property. Okay. And section 1020, income from house property for a local authority. Local authority means it could be Gram Panchayat or municipal. So these are called as the local authorities. Okay, BBMP, like this. So any income from house property of a local authority also exempted. Okay. That means any house or any building belongs to this local authority and it has been let out for someone, some extra portion when it has been not used by the local authority and that building has been let out to someone else, and income generated through it will be exempted. It is not considered as the income from house property. And section 1023C, property income of universities, educational institutions. Suppose universities and education institutions have got their own buildings and that has been let out, okay, for rent purpose, and whatever the rent generated, okay, through that building, so that is exempted. And section 1024, property income of a registered trade union. And there will be trade union, and if it has got any house buildings or any residential building and any income generated from that building that which belongs to trade union, that is also exempted. And section 11, income from house property held for charitable or religious purpose. Okay, any house property that use it for charitable or religious purpose and it is exempted. And section 13A, property income of any political party. And there will be many political parties and any house properties belong to that political party, then also it is exempted from income from house property. Section 22, property used for own business or profession. And this already we have discussed. Suppose owner has got building or any residential building that building has been used by himself for his own business and profession. Okay, that is not chargeable under the income from house property. Rather, it is going to be chargeable under the head income from business and profession. Since that income chargeable under income from profession or business, it is not going to be chargeable under the head income from house property. 23.2, self-occupied property of an individual or HUF. So that means if the house property has been used by the owner himself for his own living purpose, that means he is going to reside in that particular house. That is called as the self-occupied, and income generated from there, and there is no chance that income is going to be generated, and then it is exempted from income tax. On section 1021, income from house property of an approved scientific research association, and any house properties belong to approved scientific research association, it is exempted. So summary, income exempted under house property. And let us start with MCQ. How much amount of arrears of rent received percent is allowed as deduction? 30%, 20%, 40, 10. So deduction is 30%. Maximum deduction allowable on purchase or acquisition or construction of the house before 1/4/1999. It is 30,000. That means maximum deduction allowable on purchase or acquisition or construction house property before 1/4/1999. So that means if the house is constructed or purchased or acquired before 1/4/1999, the maximum deduction is going to be only 30,000. Beyond this you cannot claim. ಸೊ ಇದರ ಅರ್ಥ ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಯಾವ ಒಂದು ಹೌಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿನ ನಾವು ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಕ್ವೈರ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಅದು 1 ಏಪ್ರಿಲ್ 1999 ಇದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಆವಾಗ ಡಿಡಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಬಂದು ನಾವು ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಡಿಡಕ್ಷನ್ಸು 30,000 ಮಾತ್ರ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆನ್ ಬಾರೋಡ್ ಮನಿ which is payable outside Indian shall not be allowed as deduction under section. So let me read this again for you. Interest on borrowed money which is payable outside India shall not be allowed as deduction under section 26A, 25B, 24B, none of the above. Think. It is 24B. That means actually whatever the interest we pay being a owner for the house held by us, okay, it is going to be deductible. But if interest payable, whatever the amount we have borrowed for the purpose of construction or the purchasing the house, and for that amount if you are paying the interest outside the India, that means we have borrowed the amount from outside India and interest we are paying outside, then it cannot be deductible. Okay, that means shall not be allowed as deduction under the section 24B. The gross annual value of the house property depends upon the standard rent, municipal valuation, fair rent, all the above. It is all the above. If fair rent is not gives, then which one is assumed as fair rent? That means as actual rent, standard rent, average rent, and none of the above. This actual rent. These are the reference books. Thanks for listening.